bring all of this together. So now we're going to come to the culminating moment of our program. We're going to use the vehicles and the weapons with the tactics necessary to engage and defeat the enemy on the battlefield. By the time the United States entered World War I, the Germans had conquered most of Western Europe and a good part of Asia and a chunk of North Africa. Their army was well led, well trained, formidably armed. It knew its business. But very soon after America enters the war, it is the American army that is on the offensive and the German army that is falling back and trying to hold ground. By the time that the 36th Division invades southern France in the summer of 1944, the scenario that we're recreating here, the enemy is doing everything he can to stop the advance of the Allied armies. And that means he's on the defensive, and on the defensive, he gets to choose where he's going to fight. And so what you see here behind me is a typical enemy defensive zone. A trench with pillboxes, barbed wire out in front, all of it helping to defend a big open field so that we have to come out from cover and advance across open ground into the fire of their weapons if we want to take this position. That gives the Germans a lot of advantage. How do we defeat a position like this? Well, you could bring in a whole bunch of artillery fire and try and soften him up, or you could hit him hard and fast with a combined arms assault, which is what we're about to demonstrate. So the Sherman tank is going to come out from the gap of the tree supported by a squad of infantry, then the half-track supported by a squad of infantry. Those vehicles are going to get close enough for the automatic weapons to lay down a base of fire and allow the infantry to close in, use grenades to take out that trench, and then get into the trench to take out the enemy pillboxes from the rear. The vehicles, the weapons, and the tactics that we're about to demonstrate to you are exactly like those that were used on the battlefields of World War II in 1944. And we're going to try and make this demonstration for you absolutely as realistic as we possibly can. But saying that, it's important to remember that this is not the real thing. And the real thing, we would spend a lot more time making this attack than we're going to do today. And since we're not really throwing lead through the air, we can be a lot more heroic doing it than we would have been in real life. In addition, these weapons are capable of striking from much greater distances than we have available to us. So we're going to bring everything in close, and we're going to do it all out in the open so that you can see the vehicles, the troops, and the tactics work together to allow us to take this enemy position. Now, even though we're not firing real bullets, what we are about to do here behind me is exceptionally dangerous. Remember, a blank round puts out a plug of compressed air that's as good as a bullet, and at close range it can and will kill you. I cannot blank adapt a moving armored vehicle, nor can I blank adapt an exploding pyrotechnic charge. You get in the way of any of those things, and that's the real McCoy, and you are crippled or dead just like that. So it is absolutely important from this point forward that no one, for any reason, under any circumstances, comes in front of these crowd lines until we tell you differently. And parents with little ones sitting up here in front, that's particularly important because your child may get all caught up in the action and want to come out here and help us beat Hitler's army in 1944. And while we appreciate the sentiment, we would prefer that you let us do that this afternoon. Another word of caution is that if you think what we've done up to now has been loud, well, literally, you ain't heard nothing yet. So we have to add a whole bunch of stuff together. It's got to be very, very loud, so this is definitely time for your hearing protection. If you didn't get a chance for earplugs, fingers in your ears, slightly open your mouth to equalize the pressure, and you'll be just fine. When we're done with this assault, I'll have a chance to come back and make a few closing remarks for you, but for now, you've got a chance to take some video or some pictures, the like of which, unless you were there 70 years ago, you may have never taken before.
Did I steal your seat? I said, did I steal your seat? else. Whoa!
Fast, deadly, effective. Tactics like that worked. That's why our men came home. That's why theirs didn't. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't do this to glorify war. We do this to educate. To honor our troops, to support the men and women in uniform today, and to celebrate our veterans. How many veterans, any time period, peace or war in the audience? Raise your hands, please. Folks, there's your heroes. Give them a round of applause. Obviously, a program like this would not be possible without the hard work, dedication, and expertise of the volunteers who put it on. They come from all over the state of Texas. They're wearing their own uniforms, driving their own vehicles, carrying their own weapons. How about giving them a round of applause? Ladies and gentlemen, Texas Military Forces Museum, very proud to put on this program. We're delighted to be able to help all of us remember what Memorial Day is all about. It's not about the ball games and the mattress sales. It's not about the banks being closed or everybody getting a day off from work. The one day every year that our country sets aside to remember those who have made the ultimate sacrifice. The men and women throughout our history who have laid down their lives on the altar of freedom and liberty to defend this country and its values, to support its allies, to help other people who yearn to be free. Every veteran will tell you that they're not a hero, that the real heroes are those who lay beneath the white crosses and stars of David at places like Arlington National Cemetery and cemeteries scattered across Europe and much of the rest of the globe. The young men and women who never came home, who never saw their families again, who never had careers, who never lived out their dreams and aspirations, who were willing to lay down all of that so that we could remain a free people, so that we could have the privilege of experiencing war not as a day in, day out reality, but as a demonstration, a reenactment. Memorial Day is their holiday. And we are here to remind ourselves that that day is about those who can't be with us to celebrate it and accept our gratitude. I would like to ask all of you to rise and uncover. Company, present arms. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, we really appreciate you coming out, giving us part of your holiday weekend, enduring the heat and the humidity. We think it's very important to do programs like this. We think it's very important to have that museum up the hill to tell the story of the men and women who have worn our